Yeah, that totally happened in the movie. I mean, you remember that? You totally remember that. Hello, fellow Ozians. I'm the Louisiana Quadling, a Wizard of Oz collector and enthusiast, sharing with you my thoughts, my collection, and a little bit of my musical talent with all of you. And welcome to my channel. Today, we are going to... with these activity books. Golden Book released several books here in the United States for Return to Oz back during the movie's release in 1985. We'll be looking at 4 of these today. These are mainly centered around coloring. We will first start with the coloring book. The front features the Return to Oz logo used on most of the United States merchandise with various pictures from the film. The back features another photo of Dorothy saving the Gump in the ornament room. Opening up the book, the front cover features a picture from later in the book of Dorothy remembering her friends in Oz. And for the most part, the coloring book gives you a pretty good retelling of the movie Return to Oz. But there are some liberties that are taken. While these are a little bit nitpicky, I'll go through a couple of them. Dorothy sees the girl in the hospital's reflection in the window instead of the machine. Dorothy finds the yellow brick road in Emerald City in the same picture. And the Gnome King is in his human form when he swallows the egg. And there is one image that depicts something we don't even see in the film. And that is Jack Pumpkinhead guessing in the ornament room. The illustrator who did the drawings in this book is never credited or even mentioned. And next we have the color and activity book. Probably the first thing that you'll notice is that this one is red and not yellow. I really appreciate that Golden Book made these books look different so that you can actually tell that it's a different book. This one features, as I said before, red background, different press photos on the front, and some more different press photos on the back. Opening up the book, we've got a new illustration of Dorothy and Billina on the front cover page. This illustration was not in the coloring book. And this is really where the differences in this book start. We don't get all of the coloring pages from the coloring book. It's a more simplified telling of Return to Oz with activities like mazes, crosswords, games inserted into the book. And just like with the coloring book, this one also features another interesting aspect about the ornament room. There is a matching game that matches Dorothy's friends with which ornament they turned into. Hilariously, they don't match what they turned into in the movie. Next, we have the Paint with Water book. And this one features another new illustration, this time definitely from the same artist as the coloring book that's on the front cover. And for the most part, this book features almost the same illustrations from the coloring book, but there are some exceptions. Some of them are new or altered for this book, either to simplify them or to completely change them. This is definitely the simplest retelling that we've had thus far. In this book, Mombi never changes heads, and the Gnome King doesn't die. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. And our last book is the Sticker Fun book. This one features definitely my favorite illustrations out of all of the ones that we've covered today. I like this style better. It's cleaner and less crude than the coloring book illustrations. The biggest change between this book and the coloring book is that the illustrator only has 16 pictures to tell the entire story of Return to Oz. And really, for the most part, the illustrator does a fantastic job cramming as much story as they can into each image. So for instance, we've got Dorothy picking a lunch pail with a Wheeler coming after them in the same picture. Another funny thing that doesn't happen in the movie is Mombi locked up in the ornament room watching Dorothy find the Scarecrow. Yeah, that totally happened in the movie. I mean, you remember that? You totally remember that. And yet again, the Gnome King dies in his human form. You know, I don't know whether the illustrator maybe knew about the original depiction of the Gnome King in the Oz books, or whether they just didn't want to have him be a rock monster. Either way, it's interesting that the Gnome King is never depicted as a rock monster creature that's going to eat them. He's always a person. That's interesting. The stickers overall in this book are really nicely detailed and done, but for me, I would probably just color the pictures because I like them so much. But that's just me. So if you wanted to add any of these books to your collection, how much should you expect to pay for these? Well, out of the four of them, the coloring book and the coloring and activity book are the more common books to be found. I've seen these sell for $10 to $20 a piece. Not too bad. The paint and the sticker book are a little rarer. These I've seen sell for $20 to $30 a piece. I picked up this one for $30, and, you know, I really didn't want to pay that, but I did. There are some days where this book will sell for less than $20. It just depends on when you hit it, but for the most part, this is definitely the rarest of all the four that I've shown you today. But overall, it's a very nice little mini collection of activity books that you can have either in your Wizard of Oz or Return to Oz collection. Do you collect coloring books? Comment down below. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.